Hello everyone and welcome to Off the Track, a brand new episode, and today we're talking to another new driver, Noah Wolfe, the number 45, the GP plate, the O plate and the PF plate in karting. You can scratch them all off on a list. Noah, how are we?
I'm good, thank you.
Excellent stuff. Noah, as you said, Noah, I was reading off a lot of kart numbers and kart letters as well. You've got quite a collection now, haven't you, so far this year?
Yeah, it's been a real challenge, but we've got through them all.
No, excellent. Let's talk about the season you're having so far. Obviously, you're racing in the Wera British Kart Championships at the moment, racing in both IAME Cadet and Honda Cadet. That in itself is a massive challenge because you don't really have much break time, do you?
Nah, we're on the whole weekend, every weekend, so it's really fun.
I bet it is. Let's start with Honda Cadet then, because this year you're racing with the Synergy team in the Honda Cadet classes. Round one, Clay Pigeon, P1 in the final, but it was a very wet weekend, wasn't it? Talk us through that weekend.
Yeah, I was soaked right through my body, right to the bone. But it was a real challenge because we started the final in 8th. We didn't really get much top threes that weekend, so it was got a breakaway in the final. And then they couldn't catch me at the end.
Couldn't catch it. There you go. I like that confidence in that round. Round two, of course, Mansell didn't go the same way as Clay Pigeon. Talk us about that one, because we got a penalty, didn't we?
Yeah, it's a bit hard because I accidentally cut the chicane and I gave all the positions back, but the rules are the rules. If you cut the chicane, you get a penalty.
Yeah, it is a shame, isn't it? But it's Mansell's a tough old circuit, isn't it? It's very fast. Those curbs are quite high. Tough old circuit, that one is Mansell. Round three, Lark Hall. Now, that was quite a tricky one for you because you also had the IAME Cadet class, a double-header weekend, as well as the Honda Cadet for that weekend, didn't you? Talk us through that one.
Well, it's got its advantages to it. Like, if you make a mistake in defending in the IAME, then you've got the Honda right after, which you've learned from your mistakes. So yeah, it's a real advantage, really.
Yeah, I could imagine. I mean, that weekend for a lot of people was a very busy weekend. But like you say, especially for yourself, running from one kart to another, moving teams as well. Because like you say, Synergy, one team, and then Fusion, the other team as well for the IAME Cadet. Switching teams and switching karts must have been a tough old weekend. But P1 in the Honda Cadets in that class, P2 in both finals on the doubleheader in the IAME Cadet class as well. So all round, another great weekend for you.
Yeah, it was really good.
Excellent.
Weekend. I got a bit unlucky with Zach in the IAME, but
it's a tough
my
old
time will come.
Yeah, it will indeed. There we go. Good man, good man. Round four then in Honda Cadet, Warden Law, the most recent one that we've just had. P3 in the final of that one, of course. Very fast circuit is Warden Law. How did you find it there?
I think I really suit my skill, but what made the weekend so much harder is that we didn't qualify very well. We qualified in like 13th or something. So in the heats, I could only get like top fives max. It was really tricky. And then the pre-final, we had a kart set up to the dry, and then it started drizzling. So everyone else just had so much more grip than me. So I ended up falling down a couple of places and then getting a penalty along the way.
It's never good
and
when.
Then in the final, I had to start from the back and came through.
Yeah, it was a great final to watch, I have to say. But yeah, like you said there, the weather that came in, the track started to get a bit wet. There up in the northeast of England, of course, you're very close to the coast, and it does come in very quickly out of nowhere, does the weather. So yeah, it is a very challenging circuit, isn't it?
Yeah, and Zach Drummond was there helping me this week and that weekend, and he did an amazing job.
Excellent. Right then, let's talk about Kartmasters then this year, because Kartmasters is a very good one for you, wasn't it? A double GP plate win at the PF International Circuit, and of course that's where we're going to this weekend and next weekend, of course, as well.
Yeah, it's PFI. I've got like this pattern that I can drive in the wet and the dry in changing conditions.
You got it dialed in. You know what you like to do. You know your lines. You know your braking points. It's one of those circuits that you're proper dialed in, and doesn't matter what conditions you are, you know exactly what to do when it happens. And that is honestly, if you can gain those for each circuit, they're like the best skills you can get for learning track. So PFI is one that you've got nailed down then. Awesome.
Yeah, it's probably the most common circuit we have to go to because it's one of the biggest kart tracks and biggest and best kart tracks in UK.
All right, in saying that as well. Then, of course, very recently, the Honda O-Plate here at Wilton Mill, where the Alpha Life headquarters is, of course. Yeah, talk us about that one, because that was a great weekend as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, we really got the setup on that weekend, so we qualified first, and then in the heats I kind of run away with my teammates. So yeah, and then in the final, me and Thomas were trying to get away from Joshua Graham, and in the end, come the last lap, there was yellow flags around nearly the whole track, which made my job a bit easier.
Definitely. It's always nice when you're leading the race on the last lap and you see yellow flags, you're just like, I can relax a little bit through this corner. I know no one can overtake me. Brilliant. Well, that was, of course, Honda, the Cadet season. Let's go over a little bit about the IAME season, of course, with the Fusion Motorsport team, of course. Round 1 at Shennington, P8 in the final in that one. Again, Shennington, it looks like an easy circuit, but it's actually quite a challenging one, isn't it?
Yeah, the curbs are massive there. If you run a bit offline, then you're... Yeah, we just didn't really find the setup that weekend, and yeah, it was a really tricky one for us.
Indeed, yeah, it was quite tricky for quite a few people, I have to say. Round 2, Kim Bolton, probably the hottest round of the year that we had, about 40 million degrees centigrade that weekend. P18 in the final. Talk us about what happened at Kim Bolton.
I was in P2, and I just wasn't thinking. I just went for the race lead like it was a normal club round, and it didn't matter, and it didn't work, and then I got run off the track.
Yeah, it's always a nightmare when things like that happen, but you know it always falls down to drivers who realise that they've made a mistake at all or anything like that is how you learn from it, and that's also a valuable skill that any driver, young to an adult. I know some adults who would make they go karting, they do an absolutely outrageous move and say, "Oh no, that was not my fault," but clearly it was their fault or anything like that, but they don't learn from it. So learning from that from a young age is a valuable skill to have. Round 3, Larkhall, like we were just saying, of course, we were saying a great weekend for you in that one as well, and IAME Cadet. Round 4, though, Wera, P4, after a nose cone penalty. What happened that weekend?
The final was just hectic. Then I did a good move at the stewardesses on Daniel, but Daniel just backed the whole pack up and let Kit Bolowski run away. So it was me and Zach Drummond got past Daniel, and it was our job to try and catch Kit up. And then we caught him up with like 3 minutes to go, and then I went for a move, it didn't work, and then going round to the right in the third to last corner, Kit and Zach had to come in together. They slowed right down, and I had nowhere to go because it's so tight. I hit the back of them. So I had nowhere to go. So, and then I got run on the grass the whole way up the straight.
Like I said, Wera is a tough circuit because it's very twisty, it's very narrow, and like you said, the weather conditions weren't the best for us that weekend either. The rain was coming, it was windy, it was cold, it was awful, really. The complete opposites of what it was at Kim Bolton and Larkhall, of course, because Larkhall weather was lovely. Obviously, that...
Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
The whole tent was flooded in the Fusion that weekend at Wera.
So was the track. I think everywhere was flooded. It was it was pretty awful, wasn't it? Okay, well, that's obviously a quick run-up of the season. Of course, you're running in P3 in both championships at the moment, going into the final round, of course, at Paul Fletcher International Raceway. Lots of points up for grabs, of course, this weekend. I suspect you're going through quite a regime to get yourself prepared, get yourself ready for the coming weekends.
Yeah. He's really tricky because I'm not that far behind in either of them, so I've got my work to do.
Yeah, got your work cut out this weekend, but I'm sure it'll be one to watch. little less about the championship then. Let's talk a little bit more about you because, of course, such a young driver. Talk us through, how you fell in love with racing. Where did the story for joining karting begin?
It's all mainly my uncle. My uncle told my dad about karting, and we gave it a try at Sandown, and I just fell in love with it.
Okay, so what did you start in? What age was it?
Probably about 5.5.
Oh.
I was going around in the cart with the marshals pushing me around the track, trying to get feel for it, and then I was able to go in a big cart then.
Oh, nice. So you started to love it from quite a young age then, and it's just grown and grown and grown. Obviously, with the Wera British Kart Championships, it's a very tough championship. Of course, you come into it racing both classes in the cadet classes. You've got two different teams, of course, like we were saying, Synergy and Fusion. Now, a lot of people they have to survive with their teammates that you've got, but you've got two lots. You're probably teammates in some of the biggest teams in the British Champs paddock, haven't you?
Yeah. Well, they were the two best teams at the time.
Just thought, yeah, they're the ones I want to go for. Talk us about the teams and the atmosphere in the pit lanes, on the race weekends in the paddock, because whenever we walk around there's always music blaring, and I'm sure you're one of the reasons that there is music blaring while we're at those weekends. But yeah, talk us through what it's like to have those two different teams, because of course working together with the Synergy team and the Fusion team, are you able to share information, or is it kind of like completely separate between the two of them?
Normally, there's like a few races in between each, so I just come out of like an IAME session, then I go do my data and try and learn how to be quicker in that, and then jump in the Honda, and then do some data, and then go in the IAME, and it just works normally. And yeah.
Yeah, you can
I've got
pass
my
that
two
over.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. Well, of course, we talk about this year and everything. What's the story for next year? Because there's a rumor that you could be going into junior karting. How's that coming around?
Yeah, well, I just turned 12 in September, so I can race next year in junior. So for the rest of this year, I'm going to test in mini and then go junior next year.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, like I say, you watch quite a bit of the junior racing. You see, it's very different to the cadet racing, isn't it? Because the cadet, you've got a long train of karts. You work together. It's all about the slipstream. But in junior, it's very much where your positioning is in qualifying, really, isn't it?
Yeah. It's hard to overtake in juniors.
Very, very tough group of drivers, isn't it? Right, well, let's, of course, talk about more in terms of racing, because, of course, we talk about the close future. What about the far future? Where do you see yourself in, like, 10, 15 years' time?
I really want to get in open seaters, single seaters, because I want to give that a try.
Yeah.
But I don't know yet.
Don't know. Yeah, it's one of those. It's a great sport to be in, and of course, there's lots of opportunities for drivers as well. Like we were saying, we were speaking to Oliver Stewart a couple of days ago. If you saw that one, of course, he's got headhunted to go to the Richard Mille Young Driver Program. And of course, there are loads of those programs around. So yeah, definitely keep an eye out for those because, like you say, you're incredibly quick out on circuit. You've won GP plates, you've won O plates, you've won PF plates as well. So we're yet to see a number one on that card, though. Are we going to see it this year?
Yeah, I think I'm doing pretty well with the drop scores. With the drop scores, I think I'm winning the Honda by 4 points, but I'm not sure.
Well, we'll have to do the maths. I'll let Henry do the maths on the weekend because I'm terrible with numbers. I'll definitely get it wrong. Henry should get it right, so there we go. We'll hold hope for that one. With racing, of course, you're a big fan of it, of course. Who's your kind of like main, who's your idol? Who do you look up to in terms of racing?
Well, I kind of look up to Lando Norris and the youngsters in F1 like George and Charles and Lando.
Yeah, a good inspiration for you, are they?
Yeah, because most of them started in karting, and Lewis, so most of them I'm following their footsteps.
Nice. That's a good way of doing it because, of course, you see them come up through those lower divisions as well. And like you say, you can look back at old videos with Lando when he was your age. There's interviews of him out there, and of course, the wheel keeps on going round as the new younger drivers come through, like yourself. And of course, in a few years' time, maybe we'll see you in that same direction, which would be excellent to see. We talk about your kind of favorite tracks and what you got dialed in. Seems like PFI is one of your favorite karting circuits, but in terms of car circuits as well, what's your favorite out there?
I quite like the. I do like in F1. I do like Portimao and the Kart circuit out there. They've got two good circuits there, but other than that, I think it's Great Britain in F1 and maybe what can't remember the name of the other one that I like.
There are lots of tracks out there, aren't they? Some of them with very difficult, confusing names. But yeah, no. So Silverstone, again, a very popular one for many drivers out there. A nice, flat, fast flowing circuit is Silverstone, of course, isn't it? Well, of course, with that one, we talk about, things like that. You've got loads of support. Of course, like you say, your uncle helped, get your dad into karting as well and to get you into karting. Of course, this weekend, with everything now being open again, spectators allowed to come to the weekends and you can bring a lot of family members. Who have you got supporting you this weekend?
I've got my mum and my granddad normally come at the moment, but my friends and my grandma and grandpa and my brother all watch the live stream.
Ah, good stuff. So they see you on there. They do your signature move as you go across the line, don't you? What is your signature move as you go across the line? I can never remember.
Well, I think the best one that I've got at the moment is W.
Yeah.
For Wolf and winner. So.
Double meaning then. Double meaning. There you go. It works perfect, doesn't it? Excellent. Well, Noah, of course, like we were saying, lots of support with family members, of course, but you've got lots of people elsewhere that support you all the way through. Who's helped you out the most in karting? Who's really helped you get through these sort of younger cadet stages?
I think it's my uncle and my dad, basically, and then there's a few other people in a few different teams, like BKC helped me out, and yeah, there's a load of other people out there.
Definitely a team sport, isn't it? Everyone involved doing their little bit part to help you race and get to the racetracks as well. And like we were saying, with it being a double year, a very busy year you've had, haven't you? So you're always probably in the car, always in a camper van at a circuit, whether it be sunshine, rain, heat, sleet, snow, whatever, you're always there at a racetrack, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm always there with my amazing mechanic, Jed. He's always helping me out. He's been my mechanic for around a year and a bit now. And he helped me in the lower classes like Bambino.
Yeah, so he does a good job then.
Yeah.
Excellent. You can give him a thumbs up then. Thumbs up. Excellent. Perfect. Cool. So, well, Noah, thank you so much for chatting with us today. Obviously, I know you're incredibly busy. You'll be heading to PFI, of course, this weekend for the Wera Tools British Kart Championship. Of course, I will be there, and as well as all your competitors as well. Of course, for that season, you've got your teammates, you've got your rivals as well. Who would you say your biggest rival out on circuit is? But who would you say?
In IAME Cadet, I would say Lewis Wera and Zach Drummond, and in Honda Cadet, Joshua Graham and Timo Junglin.
Ah, excellent. Well, again, they're all very quick drivers, so that's what makes the cadet class so exciting to watch, and as well exciting for all the viewers at home. Everyone loves the Honda and the IAME cadet classes racing. Well, like you say, Noah, thank you so much for talking to us. Best of luck this weekend, and hopefully we see you out there.
Thank you very much.